are again for another everyday Chi Gung session. So this morning I've become very aware when I woke up that there's a tightness internally. It's quite an interesting experience that as the more Chi Gung you do, the more you kind of open up, the more you kind of become aware of things around you, but you might not actually be aware that you're aware of things around you, which means that you can start perceiving information within your body, perceiving thoughts, feelings, emotions. You can perceive physical discomfort and other weird and wonderful things. And the strange thing is that it might not actually belong to you. It might actually be from somewhere else. So you can get mental interrupts coming in. If there's weird and wonderful things going on in the world, the stress of that can actually crush down on you, but it doesn't necessarily belong to you. You can be picking up on the collective will, if you like, or the collective feeling. So part of what we're trying to do with our Qigong is get our mind to come down into the belly. They talk about finding your Tandien, the lower Tandien. The lower Tandien is a point about 2 to 3 fingers width below your tummy button, and then back inside the body, and it's your lowest gravitational center, if you like. It's your center of gravity, and it's the place where you connect with the physicality of the body, the essence, everything that makes substance in the world, everything that comes together and creates solidity. Solidity, the word I'm looking for? We'll use it for now. It's where things are sort of created on a physical level. So by bringing the mind back to that point, you're connecting the mental element of man, where we live, our consciousness, if you like, to the physical realm. You have other Tandiens. You've got your heart Tandien, you've got your the upper Tandien behind the eyebrows and back into the center of the head. The heart is where the spirit resides, all your emotions and so on and so forth. So what we're trying to do is you bring your mind down into the body so that you can remain centered. You can calm the heart, because the heart is where the emotions will be providing you with information, and that information will bubble up, and it can fuel peculiar and particular reactions in you. Well, if you've ever experienced intense emotions, you know what I'm talking about. That's known as heart fire. When the heart fire rises, you need to be able to cool it quickly. Bring your mind back down into the belly, calm everything down, and find your center again. When you are working and operating from your center, then everything around you becomes interesting, and you can just deal with it as it comes and goes. You can calm yourself down, and by becoming the lowest point, the calmest point, everything trickles to you, and you can then calm everything around you down. You can't calm other people down. That's not true. You can, but you don't do it by placating them. You do it by becoming an energy that allows them to find calm. Yeah. So this morning I've found that there's a lot of energy up in the air for me. There's a lot of weird and wonderful things going on in my life at the moment, which are causing stress and causing interrupt. So it's interesting to actually acknowledge that and go, okay, is that mine? If it's not mine, I can let it go. If it is mine, I can destroy and uncreate it if I choose, and I can bring myself back into center in order to calm the world down, slow the world down, and find the comfort within. All our power, it comes from inside. It doesn't come from anywhere externally. No matter what you might think, everything, all your power is internal. So you bring your mind inside, bring your chi inside, bring the spirit inside, integrate everything together. But it's not packing everything into a box and trying to cram yourself into a small space. It's done by more expanding out and allowing your mind just to sink. Okay, I'm doing a lot of talking this morning, so I'm going to shut up now and we'll do some Qigong. Turn your foot 45 degrees to the corner, sitting down through the leg. Place the foot on the floor and just rock it back and forth. And then swap to the other side. Pick up the foot, shake off the ankle. And swap to the other side. So all the time just allowing the body just to release. Pick up the knee, circle the foot. Get your breathing and going into your belly. Back the other way. And swap to the other side. Pick up the knee, circle the foot. Back the other way. And change. Feet together, just circling the knees. Back the other way. And then come up. Find your shoulder width. So feet together, turn out the toes, turn out the heels. And just circle the hips. Again, just allow the hip joints just to release. Circle round so you're loosening off the lower spine, loosening off the knees, the ankles. Back the other way. And then come to rest, circling the shoulders. And back the other way. And change. So settling down onto the feet. Let the feet just spread out onto the floor. Softening the ankles. Allow yourself to move so you can find that comfortable point where the ankles sit comfortably over the feet. And softening the knees. Again, finding out, are you twisting, turning, putting torque down through the knees. Just allow the joint to open and soften. And then come up through the thighs to the hips, opening the hip joints. Allow the tailbone to drop to open up your lower back. And then shoulders resting comfortably over the hips, elongating the spine, letting all the muscles either side of the spine release. The ball joints sit comfortably in the sockets for the shoulders. And then the chin just tucks under gently to open up the neck. So now we're standing upright, finding our alignments. Let all the bones just float in space, connecting with one another as they need to. And then allow all the muscles just to release, expand, and sink. Breathing into the belly. You really need to get the legs to support you comfortably. They need to open, they need to be soft. The tailbone needs to be tucked under, as though you're sitting down on a stool. Once you've got that right, it will allow the chest to open and the energy to sink down into your belly to open and soften. And the mind just sinks down through the body, heading towards that point in the belly, 3 fingers width below the tummy button roughly, and then back inside the body. And then just sitting back against your spine. Into the pelvis. And breathe, releasing the shoulders. Opening the elbows. Softening the wrists. And opening the palms of the hands, so the hands become empty. Breathing in, bring the hands up the centre line. Turn the palms up and over the head. End of the in-breath, slight pause, then breathing out, circling the hands down. Breathing in. And breathe out. Sitting back against the spine, keeping all the alignments together. So movements become smooth, comfortable, nothing forced. Softening the belly. And then change, bringing the hands up the centre line. Palms to the floor, breathing out, push down. Come to rest. Just check through your alignments, softening down through the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, tailbone dropping as though you're sitting down on a stool. Shoulders resting comfortably over the hips, elongating the spine. Chin pulled back to create the opening of the neck. And bones floating in space, all the soft tissue release, expand and sink. Breathing into the belly. Breathing in, bring the hands up the centre line to the chest. Breathing out, turn left palm up, right hand pushes down. Breathe in, turn the palms, hands come back to the chest. And then breathing out, left hand pushes down, right hand rises. And keep going. Sitting back against the spine. Change. Hands come back to the chest. Breathing out, palms to the floor, push down. Again, softening down through the body. Make sure you're not twisting into the legs, softening the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, tailbone drops, shoulders resting comfortably over the hips, chin pulled back slightly, and then with all the bones floating in space, let all the muscles just expand, release and sink. Sitting back against the spine, breathing into the belly, allow the mind to sink down. And then turning the waist, bring the shoulders round, but not twisting. And back, turn to the other side. So there's a point where everything starts to twist and that's too far. So just turning the waist, rotating around your spine, softening the legs so that they act more like pistons or shock absorbers rather than twisting and turning down through. And then as you turn, let your breathing fall into a nice regular pattern that works for you. And really release the arms. So you release the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, forearms, the wrists, and the hands, so that the arms now swing like a piece of rope. The hands are heavy on the end of the rope, so that stretches the arms out very slightly. You're not pushing the hands away from you, let them stretch, so the hands act like a weight. And then the arms, they're moving because this waist is turning and the shoulders are moving. So you have to completely release the arms and the shoulders so that they can swing. Rotating around the spine, softening the back. Keeping the tailbone dropped, sitting down on the bar stool. Softening down through the legs, to the floor, through the feet. Releasing all the muscles down either side of the spine. Make sure your arms are just swinging like a piece of rope and you're not actually moving them. It's the shoulders that transfer momentum. And the shoulders are moving because the waist is moving. Really softening the body. Breathing into the belly. Change, come to the center, resting, take a breath in, sitting back against the spine, recreating your alignment, softening the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, shoulders, chin, bones floating in space, muscles release, expand and sink. And then breathing in, the hands come forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Breathing out, drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down. Breathing in, let the hands float forward. Sitting back against the spine so you're not leaning forward or back. Softening down through the legs. Opening the body up as you breathe in and the hands come forward. Closing as you sink down and the hands drop, as though you're pushing through water. Shoulders released and neutral. Mind to the belly. Change. Just turn your fingertips to the right, circling the hands up. The right hand stays in front of the face as the left hand sinks down, and then both palms turn to the floor to hold a ball in center. So settling back against the spine, softening the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, tailbone drops, shoulders resting comfortably over the hips so the spine's elongated. Chin pulls in to open up the neck. And all the bones floating in space, let the muscles sink, release, expand. Take a breath in, and then turning the waist to rotate around the spine. That brings the hands around to the left hand side. Breathe in, swap the hands over and square the hips. Breathe out, again turning the waist to bring the hands around. Breathe in, squaring the hips, swap the hands. So breathing out and breathe in. Keep going. Everything rotating around the spine. Legs soft, acting as shock absorbers or pistons. Feel how everything connects within your body. See whether the shoulders have started to lean forward, and if they have, just bring them back so they're comfortable over the hips. Elbows remain at a fixed point in space, but they sink. And it's the hands moving, pivoting around the elbows that creates the illusion of the movement of the arms. Shoulders and elbows and hands are moving in space because the waist is turning, transferring momentum to the shoulders. Everything rotates around the spine, sitting back against the spine and into the pelvis. Let your breathing sink and let your mind sink. Keeping the arms soft. One more. And then let the lower hands circle up, so both hands are at chest height, breathing in. Breathe out, just push down, come to rest, and then close the hands over the tummy, left hand underneath for right, left hand underneath right for men, right hand underneath left for ladies. And then settling down through the feet again, same exercise, softening the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, tailbone drops, shoulders resting comfortably over the hips, chin tucked in to open up the neck, bones floating in space, muscles release, expand, sink. Your breathing sink down into the belly, let the mind sink down into the belly. Bring the hands up, wiggling the fingers at the ends of the arms. Softening through the chest, the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. Keeping yourself sat back against the spine. And then bring the hands down, circling the hands at the ends of the arms. Change, settling down through the feet, Breathing in, come up onto the toes. Breathe out, let yourself drop. So you're trying to rise and fall up along the spine, so you're not leaning forward. When you drop, let the chi settle, let the back relax. And one more. And we're done. Awesome. Give yourself a little shake just to loosen off the body. Let the muscles just feel nice and warm, released. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's an absolute gift to me to be able to do these sessions at 7 o'clock in the morning. It actually gets me up, gets me moving, because I am quite a lazy creature by nature. So it's almost like an accountability thing doing this thing every morning. And hopefully it's the same sort of thing for yourselves, where you can get up and actually get yourself moving, and you've got something to do, and it's standing there and watching me do it and following along helps you with your own training, I hope. So I'll be back at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We do have the 9:30 Chi Gung challenge for all the white, red and black dragons out there. So if anybody would like to join in on that, you need to go on and sign up to become a white dragon. And then we can go on from there. You get the access to the group, and then you'll get an email with the links to the videos at the end of each week. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, tag, share, like, let people know. Leave any comments or questions below, because it's always nice to have feedback. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more of the same. Take care.